Have you ever been in a commitment so deep with yourself that people around you cannot understand why you feel the way you feel or why you glow the way that you glow? I feel like that is the most authentic and sensual place to be, just because no one else is meant to understand the connection that you have with yourself. The way that you pull away, the way that you know when it's time to really connect with yourself and close your phone and shut out all outside distractions is honestly the best thing that you could ever feel, is the best joy that you could ever feel. Everyone isn't going to be able to feel this way. Everyone isn't going to be able to relate to you putting yourself first. And honestly, it's not up for you to explain. It's not up for you to get frustrated about, because that's their journey. And I think that that's the first thing that you had to learn when you started to put yourself first and when you started to have this commitment with yourself. We all have these connections with other people, and I feel like having connections with people is very important, but it's also important to have a connection with yourself. You will never be able to understand someone else as much as you are to understand yourself. And to actually grow in love or to grow anywhere, you have to be able to understand yourself and understand what your wants are, what your needs are. And it's so easy for us to journal about other people or how situations make us feel, but when have you ever considered journaling about yourself? When have you ever considered journaling about things that you have done to harm yourself or hurt yourself? Have you ever considered how you felt? Have you ever considered how you made yourself feel? And I think that's important. I know that is important. I feel like jealousy doesn't come from outside circumstances. Jealousy always starts from within. The pain always starts from within. And when you begin to heal that spot and when you begin to fill that space with yourself, and you start to fill that space with true, authentic care for yourself, then that's like when you feel whole. That's when you start or stop feeling ashamed to express yourself. That's when you stop being afraid of what other people would think or what other people would say. And it's like you go in these circles and you repeat these cycles. And these cycles are you revisiting yourself at certain moments in your life, moments when you're up, moments when you're down, moments where you're like in the middle. Everything is not set in stone. You can't really change your outside circumstances. You can't change the way the world is reacting to you. But what you can change is how you feel. You can choose how you feel. People wake up every day and they do things that they don't love. They do it for instant gratification. They do it because they feel like, if I don't do this thing, if I don't go to work, if I don't become the successful person that everyone around me has envisioned for me, then I fail. Then they fail. That's how they feel. And it's not anyone else's fault that that is the way that they feel. It all starts with how you feel about yourself. I feel like I always make a conscious effort to not allow my outside circumstances to dictate how I feel. If I am not happy with a job, if I'm not happy in a relationship, if I'm not happy with how I'm making myself feel, I know that there's something that needs to change. There's something that I need to adjust, and there may be something that I need to eliminate from my life. It's beautiful to be able to live in a physical body, to be able to experience life, to be able to experience nature and all the joys that life has to bring. So why do we make the conscious decision to decide what's painful for us? There's something about pain that keeps us in this cycle. The cycle of life, the cycle of allowing ourselves to be slaves to others people's desires. There's something about it. When you choose and when you listen to yourself, then you take back your freedom. You take back your power. And I speak a lot about taking back your power on my channel. So if you guys haven't tuned into one of those videos, I'm sure it's all over. Make sure that you check that out if you're interested. There's no commitment without being honest. If you're not 100% ready to be honest, you're not going to be ready to build a relationship with yourself or even have a commitment with yourself. You'll know. I feel like people ignore how they feel on a daily basis just because they're not willing or they're not ready to face their reality or the reality that they create for themselves. And honestly, that's cool, but that's just like a way for you to blame your circumstances on other people and not being willing and ready to take ownership. I remember being in this place where I used to feel like I needed to inflict some type of pain, or I needed to feel some type of pain in order to feel alive. And honestly, that wasn't true. It could have been true at that point and in that phase of my life, but now that I look back at it, I feel like the pain that people used to give me, or the pain I used to feel from experiences in my life, was really a reflection of the pain that I was inflicting on myself. And I wasn't really able or willing to see it for what it was. I just felt like I needed that attention. I needed that, I needed some type of feeling. So I would stop myself from crying. I would stop myself from expressing. And I would just put myself in a position where I felt like I needed to do something in order to feel something. I needed to keep going. I needed to keep striving for some type of success or whatever I feel like I was trying to strive for. I would block myself from expressing. And I feel like a part of me still struggles with this just like a little bit, but being able to acknowledge where you are and being able to see yourself and know that you're able to be in a different position is the first step towards transforming and transmuting where you are. And I feel like that's powerful. That's a very powerful statement. That's a powerful moment, that you take ownership over your life and you stop allowing yourself to water yourself down and not feel the way that you feel. When I stepped away from places that harm me, and when I stepped away from harming myself, that's when I started to express myself more. That's when I started to be in this energy of really accepting my true path and accepting what I have chosen to be here to do, right? Like, everyone has a path in life. Everyone has something that they should be doing. And of course, there are going to be people that are going to be like jealous of where you are. But under all that jealousy is them admiring you. It's them seeing themselves within you. It's them admiring the fact that you had the courage to do something different for once, right? Do something that everyone feared doing. And that fear is really paralyzing. That fear is what you used to feel when you weren't living in your calling, or you weren't being the best version of yourself that you could be at that moment. There are all seasons in life. And when you learn to embrace your season, and when you learn to embrace that you don't need to be on goal all the time in order to feel like you're doing something, everything starts to become like a lot more easy for you. And I realized that having a connection and a commitment with yourself and having this deep partnership with yourself will only allow you to flourish in partnerships with other people, just because you understand your needs and the demand on you won't be so high, and you'll know when to say no, and you'll have the right to say, I don't want to show up today because this is not what my soul was telling me to do. This is not where I am moving. And that's beautiful.